What's good, EYTBC? What's good, fight fans, boxing heads around the world? Be March with another boxing video. So this my preview for my preview and prediction and breakdown for Anthony Crolla, Anthony $1 Million Crolla versus Ismael Barroso, excuse me. This is a good fight coming out of England. I think it's in Manchester, if I'm mistaken. And Anthony Crolla being the, Anthony Crolla is the WBA lightweight champion of the world after beating Darly Perez. Darly Perez was a Colombian that they fought twice with Anthony Crolla. The first fight ended up a draw. In my opinion, the first fight, Darly Perez won. He did have a couple infractions. I think a low blow or something. He got some points deducted. You know what I'm saying? But in my opinion, I had him winning. I thought Crolla got the hometown favoritism. Well, they rematched, and in the second fight, Anthony Crolla got Darly Perez out of there with a vicious body shot. Okay, got him with the out of there, the body shot in the 5th round. So Anthony Crolla is going to be defending his title against an unknown commodity coming out of Venezuela, Ismael Barroso. All right, Ismael Barroso is a southpaw. He's a guy who's he's a little older than he's 33 years old as opposed to Crolla. I think is 28. Okay, the man Ismael Barroso is 19-0 with 2 draws. The 2 draws came early in his career. One was in his first fight of his career. The other one was, I think, in his 5th, maybe 6th fight. And I didn't find any footage of that. There ain't too much footage on on this Ismael Barroso kid. But one thing for sure, 2 things for certain, this guy can crack, man. This guy can crack. He's 19-0, 2 draws, 18 KOs. His last fight was against, it was actually in, it was in England. He fought against, what's that guy's name? Kevin Mitchell. He fought against Kevin Mitchell, and he became the interim WBA lightweight champion when he knocked Kevin Mitchell out basically with a jab. He dropped the man Kevin Mitchell with a jab. It was a 5th round stoppage. I remember the man, they fought, I think he dropped him about 3 times in that fight. The man Ismael Barroso dropped, he dropped the man Kevin Mitchell 3 times, twice in the 5th round. Then the referee stopped it because of the barrage of punches the man Ismael Barroso was throwing on Kevin Mitchell. So, the man got dynamite in both hands. Kevin Mitchell is the only guy on his resume that I do know. Everybody else he's basically fought was in Mexico or Venezuela. You check it. He's had a couple fights in the States. But for the most part, that's where he's been fighting at. The Dominican Republic, maybe Costa Rica, Venezuela, Panama. You know what I'm saying? Well, as far as styles, I think Ismael Barroso being the southpaw, I think he can cause problems for Anthony Crolla. Anthony Crolla to me is also a guy. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say he's a world beater. He got the man. What's his name? He got the man. What's the fuck is his name, man? He got the man Darly Perez out of there. You know what I'm saying? In a good fight. It was shocking the way he was walking the man Darly Perez down in that second fight. He was stalking the man, cutting off the ring. He was getting up in his body as far as, the man was being relentless. He was being the stalker. He was throwing, he showed he has a good inside game in that particular fight, which kind of surprised me, because he looked like he was a smaller guy, but he definitely was walking the man down. and getting up in his chest, and that's eventually how he got to the body shot that dropped him. That dropped Dolly Perez. You know what I'm saying? He got up in his body, got him on the ropes, was going body, body, head, body, head, body, head, and the man put his guard up, and boom, threw one left hook to the liver. And you already know that spot is sensitive right there by the liver. It'll make any man cripple and go down. You know what I'm saying? You lose all function and mobility in your legs, and it's a wrap. And that's exactly what happened to Dolly Perez. You know, it was something like, you see what like, you know, them body shots like Roy Jones threw on Virgil Hill, or the one Golovkin dropped Matthew Macklin. You know, in boxing, that's actually my favorite knockout punch in boxing. That body shot. You know, the body shot is, even, you know, the head could be fine. The man could have his senses still, but you can't move. The legs are crippled. Your mobility is you know, your mobility is stuck. You know what I'm saying? You got cement shoes, you just go down. You can't move. You know what I mean? I remember Amir Khan caught Maidana with one of those the fight they fought some years ago. And the man Maidana didn't look like he was going to get up. But you know, Maidana's a warrior, and he gutted it out, and he got up on his feet. You know what I'm saying? So this man, Ismael Barroso, he's a guy who's looks like a patient fighter, you know. He's a guy, for a guy with power, he looks like he can box too, you know. That's what he showed from that last fight when he knocked out Kevin Mitchell, you know what I'm saying? You know, the man was patient, you know. He was a southpaw, you know. He was letting them jabs go. He's letting the jabs go to set up the left hand. But the funny thing about it, he ain't throw too many left hands. He was working the man with the jab. But the jab is the one that dropped him, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me, you know what I mean? So, in this particular fight, you know, oh man, it's gonna be tough because, like I said, to me, you know, both guys are unknown commodities. You know, as far as they haven't really beaten no notable guys. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna have to go with the man Barroso. Barroso is a guy who looks like, hey, he could be one of those guys from, you know, South America who, you know, guys like Linares, also from Venezuela, who's also a lightweight champion. You know, you had guys, like, what's his name? What's the guy who murked himself name, man? Man. Can't even remember his name. It's going to come to me. Oh, Edwin Valeria, you know what I'm saying? You know, that was a guy who was like 29-0 with, you know, 29 KOs or whatever. However many fights he had as many KOs. So this guy, Dolly Perez, might be cut from that mold, cut from that cloth of these guys from Venezuela. You know, they've had great champions, and I think he's going to come out there to Manchester and have another upset, you know what I'm saying? I think, I think his power will be too much for Anthony Crolla, man. Anthony Crolla did show he has a good inside game, but I think those hard punches from the man Barroso is going to keep him at bay, you know. And if he does try to come there on the inside, he's going to get caught with something that'll keep him honest. That'll keep Dolly Perez honest to the point where, I said Dolly Perez, Anthony Crolla honest to the point where, you know, he's going to think twice or three times whether he wants to come in that close. Like I said, the guy Barroso, he showed he's a patient fighter, and he'll wait for the knockout. You know, he's not a guy who is typically a guy who's just coming there trying to look for the knockout off jump, you know what I mean? He's a guy who wants to come in there and, box, and if the knockout comes and presents itself, he'll go for it. Like I said, he dropped the man basically and hurt the man Kevin Mitchell bad with the jab, you know what I mean? After that, Kevin Mitchell had the spaghetti legs and there was a wrap. So yeah, that's my my prediction for this fight. I got Anthony Barroso probably winning this fight. I want to say maybe fight goes to a decision, maybe a late stoppage. Let me say late stoppage, because it'll be very hard for him to leave Manchester with a decision. You know what I'm saying? So let me say a late stoppage. I mean, that's how should be his mentality. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if tries to leave out of there with the decision. Anything could happen on the scorecards. So let me say a lay down stoppage, maybe 11th round, maybe 10th. You know what I'm saying? I see him, peppering that jab, throwing that left hand when he can. And, just having the man, Anthony Crolla, really thinking about whether he wants to go on the inside, make this an inside fight, or if he wants to fight from the outside. The man, Barroso, got a slightly longer reach. I want to say by a few inches, maybe two. So it'll be interesting, man. So that's my prediction. Anthony Crolla is gonna lose to the Barroso kid out of Venezuela. You know, I think this Barroso guy is on a mission. I mean, the way he did Kevin Mitchell, and he's not afraid. He looks comfortable coming back to England. So I think we're gonna have a new WBA lightweight champion after this fight is over. Ismael Barroso out of Venezuela. Alright, y'all, that's my video. I got Barroso winning. Let me know who y'all think's gonna win. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comments section. If you like the video, please hit thumbs up and please subscribe. Alright, y'all, B Marsh Boxing. Thank you for listening. Peace.